And then somehow magically, I'm not jinxing it by saying this, this audience has like settled into itself at basically capacity. So hi, thank you for being those people who are here for poetry. This is indeed the Blue Hour. We're going to start, as we always do, with our land and labor acknowledgements. Located at the intersection of several great waterways and fertile soil, Chicago was once a trading post and healing site for the First Nations indigenous tribes. Chautauqua, Chicago, is the traditional homeland of the Council of Three Fires, the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations. It was a meeting place for other tribal nations, including the Miami, Ho-Chunk, Sauk and Fox, Kickapoo, Peoria, and the Sioux. Today, over 170 tribes are represented in Cook County, and Chicago is home to the third largest urban Native population in the United States. At the Chicago Poetry Center, we recognize that the United States was developed through the labor of enslaved Black people as well as Asian immigrants. We acknowledge that this country has widely ignored and erased the rich contributions and influence of Indigenous people, Black people, and other people of color. As an organization, we commit to platforming and honoring Native and Indigenous voices, Black voices, and the voices of people of color. When we cannot meet this commitment, we will audit our operations and programming as we continuously endeavor toward equity, access, and inclusion in all of our practices. We also want to take just a moment for a safety statement. CPC and Haymarket have a policy of non-cooperation with ICE. We do not anticipate any issues, but we do have an action plan in place should ICE arrive in the area during this event, including safe space behind locked doors for anyone who might need or want it. If CPC staff can raise your hands, you can see folks in the back and Helene right here. If any concerns arise or anything happens, you can see any of us. If we become aware of ICE presence in the area, I will come up to the microphone and let you know. And if anyone wants then to be moved to a safe locked area of the building, please go to the side door right here and see Helene, and she will escort you to a safe space. Please, at that point also, if you have a rapid response practice, feel free to engage in that. We'll be pausing the show so the staff can enact a rapid response. Okay. Back to Chicago Poetry Center stuff. At the Chicago Poetry Center, we believe that poetry illuminates our individual and shared humanity, fueling thriving lives and healthy communities. Our mission is to connect people and poetry, equitably engage poets with communities, and foster creative literacy in the city and beyond. We envision and work to create a fair and verdant world rooted in artistic expression, human connection, and boundless imagination. There's lots of information about our various programs, including our Poets in Residence program, which sends teaching artists into schools throughout the city and beyond, as well as our free citywide poetry calendar and critical conversations at work, anti-racism, all at the back table. As you may be aware, this is the last Blue Hour of the 25-26 season. Yay! That's awesome, and also a little bittersweet. So we couldn't just, be done. So here's stuff that's coming up that we're doing. On June 4th, we have a book launch party for Noel Quinones. That will be at Pilsen Community Books. Again, that's June 4th. You can get information about that on our website, poetrycenter.org. On June 9th, we have Blatant Gold, formerly known as the Summer Poetry Gathering, but now retitled based on a line from a Patricia Smith poem. Oh, sorry, that's what happens inside my head when I hear Patricia Smith's name. It's going to be awesome. It's June 9th from 6 to 9. The flyers look like this, and you should take one. We have Maida Del Valle as our featured poet. As you may know, she is the current Chicago Poet Laureate. She is also one of our poets in residence. And we will be honoring with the Gwendolyn Brooks Award for Excellence in Teaching our poet in residence, Musu Bangura. Oh, there's also going to be a book poll. So if you've been to fundraisers and there's like a wine poll where you can like pull a gift bag and there's a bottle of wine in it that's worth, $10 to $100 or whatever, and you pay $20 for it. We're doing that, but with books. because we're the Poetry Center. And so you get a book, and you also get some gift card in there that's worth somewhere between $10 and $100. So come for that on June 9th. Come for the poetry, stay for the book poll. And then we have announcements about the new Blue Hour season. Because we are a staff of Type A humans, it's fully booked. Yes, it's all set. So you can pull one of these flyers from the back. You can also check out the website. It's going to be thebomb.com. It's really amazing. Do people still say that? Probably not. Do they? Thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm so old. Okay, those are all my announcements. Yes, did I miss anything, Helene? Is that it? Okay, great. Fantastic. Oh, Chris, can you bring me the durian? Yay, thank you. Many applauses for Super Volunteer Chris, who is the very bestest. So I'm going to be pulling 5 of these. There's a lot of y'all. Oh my gosh. Oh, I should say that at Blatant Gold on the 9th, there will be an extended open mic. Okay. So if your name doesn't get called here tonight, or even if it does, you should come and read in that open mic. I'm going to pull 5 of these names at random. The request/requirement is to read 1 poem or 3 minutes, whichever comes first. So if you have yourself rewritten the Odyssey, just like 3 minutes of it. Cool? Also, I would like to hear that, so please do it. We are going to start with Brooke Ramsey. Oh, who's apparently right up here in the front. It's a surprise, so you have to like applaud for quite a while so they get up.
I have to keep going until I find it. No, that's not the right version. Okay. It's called Haru, which is spring in Japanese. It's about healing. Wind of the heart, traveling across the lay of 1,000 dead women, winter's hardening breath came to slay. Through the twinkling of snowdrops travels the vitalic song of rebirth, resonating remembrance that we are flowers, the source of pure mirth. I am lilac, violet, Damascus rose, calla lily, full, lush, peony, and crimson clove. Under her reign, these 1,000 women of me, now with ecstatic peace, throughout the duration of revival and release.
It's always so fun. It's fun for me to hear all of you in the open mic, but particularly when people come to the workshop and I get to hear their thoughts on the poem we're discussing, and then I get to hear their poems. Oh, it's so fun. Okay. One thing I failed to mention before we started was just an encouragement to self-care. Poems do induce feelings, so if at any point you need to stand up, take a break, get some water, etc., please feel free to do so, just with full respect to the person saying things on the microphone. Cool? Great. Who's next? Malik. Malik.
There's an old school Islamic name that I say in Arabic. Do you want me to spell it in English for you so you can spell it out? Yeah, Azazil. And it's a long E for the I sound. Okay. Yeah. This is called Theophoric. One day, I'll be a creature in the wood. Embrace each morning bright and erect, traverse terrain, harvest, and collect. One day I'll lose myself in the wood, will my eyelashes to cease their moth-wing flutterings, teach my heart the rhythm of sanguine beats. One day I'll offer myself in theophoria to Azazil, panacea and poison, the taste of his cardamom seed, at last, an element of the wood, spirits mosaicked. Thank you.
All right, we're 2 for 2 on workshop people so far. So, I mean, I do point out that I feel like it gives you good. I was saying last month that I felt like it gives you like an extra karmic boost if you come to workshop with your name getting pulled. But because the workshop always sells out and not everybody gets to come, I feel bad about saying that. Because someone's like, well, I would like to come to workshop and get my name pulled, but you know. So the moral of the story is sign up early because there's a waiting list and we only have so much room. Okie dokie. Walt Leinen. Walt? All right.
Thank you. I'm gonna have to do one of those. All right. Sorry. This is called New Leather Shoes, Tights, and Cutoffs. A drunk 15 years younger than me complains about people of welfare, cribbing Hillbilly LG as if it was his life. I look over his shoulders outside the Irish bar, 2 weeks from baseball season, and worry if he has a concealed carry. These are the people that ruin it for me, who get me called white instead of French or Polish, that get mean and don't cry after Jack Daniels. I don't want to kick their ass or watch it. I want them to call a cab to doubt for once, to learn to take a handout and be happy. But as wolves, they want the big war. Like a silver Luna medal, they want to own. It'll end tomorrow, they snarl, paying off a credit card. Outside in the moon shadow to the red line, I do an interpretive dance to hex their coming year. The cars mixed with the plastic bags on the freeway listening. And we all spit stars, the shoeless Joe Jackson, and Chick Gandil, and me. Thank you.
I apologize to tall people who have to deal with my short microphone usage. All right, next up we have Roy. Roy Zoo, yes. You're a tallish person. There you go.
You jinxed yourself.
I did jinx myself.
Hi everyone, my name is Roy. Thank you again for, fate for choosing my name. I'm gonna try to be quick because this isn't really a poem. It's just a bit of prose that I did as a writing exercise. But let me know when my time runs out. Remembering place. Little strands of grass cut into my skin. The smoke and the moon and the footsteps up and down the grassy hill. The people are spread out and gathering like leaves spun into a cyclone by the wind. Down the valley and up the hill, the dark grass is almost blue and high to the knee. As children, we leaned down to smell the grass and noticed the smell of the earth, and every so often of the nameless herbs whose aromas intersperse with the grass. On top of the hill there is a fire, and smoke rises towards the faintly glowing stars. Night falls like sacred wine down the throat of the valley. Near the water the rocks are pebbled, and I am reminded of the reflective tide pools in Acadia, where magical creatures bobble the plain of sight. Every landscape enters me through a quilt of memories. The widest tree here, nestled in the tucked folds of the sloping earth, reminds me of the great tree in the yard of my elementary school, a bench wrapping all the way around its trunk like a belt. The birds of the night circle here and there, and I imagine their throats carrying the little songs that I've forgotten, evaporated off the surface of the city street. I hang wind chimes tied by twisted wires in the bough of a tree, trying to imagine how the sound will spread across the valley. I imagine the chime in the distance calling my attention somewhere farther away. The frogs must be there in the dark. The crickets and the frogs and the cicadas must be there in the dark. I remember the low shrubs around the lake of the turtles, how the frogs were hidden there. I am sorry for chasing the geese then. I did not know they would follow me here. The geese, their absence, how I miss them. What shape will our mother take after she is dead? The question is not alone here. I am looking at the sun. My bare skin is a kite. The grass tenses, then sighs with the wind. Fruition, fruition. Body language. The valley is her arm draping around the chair. The wind blows the grass into song.
Sounded like a poem to me, Roy. I don't know. Throw some line breaks in there. You're all set. All right. We have, and you were under 3 minutes. I actually did watch.
Oh,
Yeah. I was ready to, do a little gong sound. All right. Last poet in the open mic will be Melissa Coleman. Melissa Coleman. Also a tall human. Okay. So many tall people in this open mic.
Thank you. This is my first time putting my name in, so be nice. All right, this is a work in progress, so it's currently untitled. If they gave me the story and told me to write a god, I would write Eve an orchard where the fruit never wastes on the ground because our hungry mouths catch it falling. We the birds, we the beasts, we the sinners, congregating in aisles that wind serpentine between the trees, leading to a picnic table in the blessed shade. We come here at the end of a long summer, longing for a golden autumn afternoon, with grass warm under us, clouds spiced like incense overhead, and bees full of secrets confessing in our hair. Eve in her overalls, fat and beautiful as a dahlia, is laughing, and we lay at her feet and listen or lean at her side with our heads on her shoulder as she gives benediction with infinite delight, with holy, dirty jokes and a smile like the sun. She who has room under her ribs for all the knowledge of the world, for all of its pain and all of its joys. We come to the orchard because she always knows what to do when the decision is impossible and it feels like it will be the end of the world. That is the God that I would give the world, the woman who knows the punishment for sating hunger, and with wide open arms and eyes and mouth, feeds us all from the abundance of the tree.
Oh, such a good open mic. Many applauses for everybody who read and extending that applause to people whose names did not get called. Sorry. But come on June 9th. There'll be many more opportunities. Also, come back in September. Put your name in. Okay, it is time. It is time as we move into our featured readers for the night. Are you excited? Are you geared up? You don't seem quite excited enough, but I'm going to talk and then you'll get really rowdy. Because I am so delighted to hear these two poets. And those of you who've come to these know that I'm so jazzed about the fact that that despite our not sitting down and trying to puzzle out exactly what poet to put with what poet, the work always creates this incredible friction and tension that just illuminates both sets of poems so beautifully. And when I was thinking about the work of our two features tonight, a couple of things came up for me. One was how they're both so invested in very different ways, but in excavating the strangeness of what it is to be human and to function within these systems that we've created for ourselves. And particularly in the ideas of borders and boundaries and how we've invented those and how those delimit us, but also define us, and how we can sort of recapture that idea of borders and boundaries for ourselves, and redefine them in new and endlessly fascinating ways. And I think that is such an incredible gift of these poems and of poetry in general, to say, how do we create limitations, in a way, parameters that allow us to blossom in fascinating new ways that work against oppression and limitation. So excited for you to hear these poems. With that, I will go into real live bios. We are going to hear first from Patrycja Humienik. All right, I've been working on it. Patrycja Humienik is the author of We Contain Landscapes, published by Tin House in 2025, selected as a New York Public Library Best New Poetry Book. An editor and teaching artist, Patrycja has developed writing and movement workshops for Arts and Literature Laboratory, the Seventh Wave, Northwest Film Forum, Henry Art Gallery, and in prisons. Her work can be found in The New Yorker, Gulf Coast, West Branch, Poetry Daily, Poetry Society of America, The Slowdown Show, and elsewhere. She lives in Madison, and she came down to see us. Many, 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 many applauses for Patrycja Humienik.
Thank you so much for having me, Chicago Poetry Center. Just gonna set my little timer so I don't get too chatty with you. Thank you for having me. Though I am currently living in Madison, Wisconsin, I did grow up when I was really little in the city and then in Evanston, and so it's really special for me to get to be here with you all. I love this space. Yes, claps for Chicago. I love this city. It's really sweet to see such a vibrant turnout for poetry. Thank you for coming. Thank you for everyone who runs this space, works with Chicago Poetry Center and Haymarket House, and to Soham for so excited to get to read together. I will be reading from my first book, We Contain Landscapes. I've been writing new work since it came out, but I think some of the themes, obsessions of this book are lifelong. There's no way to write a book engaging questions of desire and the illusion of national belonging and to just wrap it up after one book. I think that there's so much that I'll forever be asking in new ways. But I'll read some poems from this for you tonight. And so much of the journey of this book, there's a lot of contending with repression, growing up really religious. I don't know, I hope you can't relate, but has anyone ever repressed their sexuality? Yeah? Oh, thank you. All right. All right. Can you hear me all right? Is that better? Okay, great. So this is for you. Sorry that you can relate, but. Failed essay on repressed sexuality. The internet was my childhood refuge. It's where I practice still. Erase my browsing history. At the strip club, a friend leans over to say, the search for a moral politic is a failure. How it mirrors a religious pursuit, that fervor. I agree, then disagree. I'm watching my favorite dancer, feeling the ghost of my teenage body, a river, rushing superimposed boundaries. Do to me what sunlight does to a river. Yeah, you can make noise, you can heckle me, I love when audiences are loud. I heard that I drove through a lot of traffic and didn't make it as early as I intended, and I heard that there was some discussion about a poem that I realized I rarely read, so in that same vein, this is called I Defer Pleasure.
Let it build. Become a wall, then four. I install a spotlight, prepare my speech, knock over a chair, try to negotiate geometry. First, a house, a block, then a whole city of wanting. In the city of my almost, a pianist rolls her upright Wurlitzer uphill, sits at the apex to play a nocturne with eyes closed. On the downhill, racks full of fabric, the color of the crest of a wave when the sun hits. Funyuns at the corner store. Children chalk the sidewalk, charting territory for hopscotch. Pipelines beneath boxes 1 through 7. Traffic sign, sinews taut. A man with palms outstretched. A man in a blinking box signaling to hurry up and cross. Darting eyes saying, "Don't look me so long in the eyes." Around the corner, at the flower stand, I adorn myself. Snatch every tulip, lilac, hyacinth, night-blooming jasmine, rose. I gather all blossoms to crown, fill my pockets, stuff the remaining petals in my mouth. By fistful, by boatload, I play pretend that what I won't let myself have is my horizon, water that won't run out. I walk 3 blocks to reach the edge of an inland sea, minnows circling my feet. Now the water is oil, the water is lead. I really appreciate Chicago Poetry Center's commitment to not working with ICE. I grew up with parents who were undocumented for a long time, and this book thinks a lot about questions of borders. My family's from Poland, and those borders were ever-changing. And there's a poem in the book that's called Border Wound, thinking through that, and it has a gap on the page for that ever-changing map. So if I can find it, I'll read it for you. I will read it for you. This is what a good old-fashioned table of contents is for. Great. Okay, there we go, 30. All right. Border wound. Great Polish poets were born in cities that no longer belong to Poland. Now Lithuania, Belarus, Ukraine, my people claim the imagined place. Guarded by the gate of dawn, the cross of St. Ephrasim, the golden lion with its coat of arms, the crowned eagle, the idea of a nation is a record full of. Anzaldúa wrote, "The US-Mexican border es una herida abierta," scrawled in black marker on a wall in Bulgaria, every border is a wound. On how many walls, in how many languages is it written? Wounds unlatch on every continent. A map only approximates. Each time Poland was erased, the Wisła River remained. Can a river unwound? There's a Polish saying that quiet waters tear the banks. Cicha woda coming from my outlines. On a strip of polluted beach beneath the Poniatowski Bridge, faces warmed by the golden hour, a painter tells me breathless that Warszawa was magnificent before the war. The past disrupts the current. It happens all the time. We climb to see the river at dusk, a different scale, tilting past future, future past. I'll read you one where the speaker of the poems actually experiences some pleasure instead of just repression, so we'll do that. I found a lover and we left the city, temporarily. Crackle of the fire said as much. Temple into the sprawl of limbs which came later. First, the alchemists, oysters we ate quietly as we could, laughing, not saying a word, eyes full of language. And it wasn't that no one had ever touched me before, but it had never been like this, tunnelless. Not a search for a prize, zippered pearl to coax out of grieving. Not the scarcity of hardship or the dismissal of it, but we did look up. Air glow, sky, a cicatrix, purpling, paler. Damage and the need to undo it. Not to fix, but to unribbon the past. My mama grew up in a rural place, rolling hills of jade. My name betrayed her wish to leave that lack. Szlachetnia urodzona, desire for wealth and its associated ease. I don't blame her for using a name like a tool for weeding. I too prune and tug at my story, but she wanted me to live up to my name, and for that I might blame her. I learn other names, plants that please me. Forsythia, hyacinth, pyracantha, my lover gives me a dried bouquet. I prefer weeping, willow, even seaweed, something of water. I want not to say this, but to be understood with my eyes the way I was for a moment by the fire. But some lovers are not for lasting, though that part comes later. Must I tell the truth? There were so many places that I was drafting these poems in, and I lived for quite some time in Seattle, Washington. There was an island I got to go to in the Puget Sound that has, for some reason, a population of so many black foxes, which are really rare. And I think if a black fox looks you in the eye, as one did to me, you're just gonna have a vision or a weird dream. And I dreamt that night of a poetic form, and for 2 years, I had written some notes down, and I was like, this is ridiculous. And then I was in an MFA program years later, after writing much of this book, most of it working full-time, cobbling together many jobs, as many of us do. And my professor told us to do the nonce form, where you get to invent your own rules for a poem, which I highly recommend doing. And so I revisited those notes from that dream, which was this dream where I had seen the shape of the poem, and it was called The Cradle Magnolia, and I was like, what does this mean? And I found out, I was like, what the fuck? And so then I went and was deeply researching magnolias, finding out that they predate bees, they're that old. And I addressed some of the constraints of the poem, which are in the back of the book, or I can tell you about if you want to write one, or addressing a non-human living thing, some questions in the center, some other constraints. But this is called Magnolia. Blooming in stars, bells, cups, and saucers. Before bees, before derelict cities, I can't Google you without involving the suspicious affliction of needing to name, or the geopolitics of search engines. I just want your petals, casting shadows across my face, and to know if they are edible. Many botanists say yes, raw, cooked, pickled, dried. Must I consume to love? Must I be consumed by love? I trust you know the answer. Pollinated by beetles some 95 million years ago. I pluck your sturdy petals, make tea. Imagine I can read the desiccated pulp, a kind of sacrament to taste and be tasted. When I am one day buried in the dirt, I offer my frame, tissue, heart. You didn't ask me to live on like this. I'm asking you. Thank you. There's a lot of direct address in the book. I'm really interested in letters and in address and who we write for and to, and The idea that we never write alone, that even if we're not writing alongside and engaging with other living poets and people, we're engaging in a history of books that predates us by so much time. And there's a poet, Arya Aber, who had a poem that is called Reading Rilke at Lake Mendota, Wisconsin, where I live, following in a series of many poets who write a reading X at X. So that's an invite for you if you want to. And this is after that poem by Arya, not just in that title, but some other engagement with questions of music and language. And this is Reading Szymborska at Friday Harbor. Do I want more music from language? Curled into myself against a floor-to-ceiling window, I laugh about the Yeti poem, cry over her 1996 speech. Whatever inspiration is, it's born from a continuous, I don't know. I read it in English. In Polish school, I did not like her work. I did not want to admit how much I don't know. How many fields of oil burning, the everlasting snow melting. I'm watching an eagle perched for the hunt, white-headed metronome. Wrapped, still I ask for song. Unspooling in sound, how can I trust myself when I'm so seduced by beauty? Scenic lookout, hot women on Instagram, denim sky, muscle of petals. I'm not singing, says the eagle. A tired roar crowds my mouth. When we drive down Sweet Pea Lane, Gabby says, so sweet it makes my teeth hurt. I write it down. Thank you so much for being here. I'll read one more poem for you all, and I'm so excited to hear Soham, and we'll be in the back with our books after if you want to chat. I mentioned that there's a lot of letter writing. There's a series of letters to another immigrant daughter in the book, but this last one is a letter really to any reader that connects to it. Beloved, you gather me. I am not petals, though I have eaten wildflowers on greens, in that glow particular to the other planet, as Miłosz described it, that is California, where I walked through salt and fog and found Mary enshrined in chalk on a gash of rock and watched the waves devour themselves till my phone died, so that I was forced to rely on the generosity of strangers. And I did take a photo later of said plate, marveling while sending it to you from the aloneness I'd traveled there to make something out of. Please send a photo of your face. Is it not my purpose to see where, exactly, laughter has rivered around the eyes I adore? There was a donkey in Petaluma with a soft, steady gaze. I will not turn away from the ache of this world. I'm trying to feel my feet. Let's cry enough to submerge up to our ankles at least. Don't keep your grief from me. Thank you.
Shall we inhale now? Look, I was holding my breath through at least the last two poems, so truly, feel free to breathe. All right, now we have breathed, now we are ready for Soham Patel, who was born in the East Midlands of England and raised in the western regions of North Dakota. She is the author of the poetry collections To Afar, From Afar, Ever Really Hear It, winner of the Subito Prize, All One in the End/Water, and The Daughter Industry, which is the most recent book, which is what you have tonight, yes, for us to purchase. And we have books, yes, great. They currently live on Tutelo/Monacan land in Blacksburg, Virginia, USA, with their wife and families. Many applauses for Soham Patel!
Thank you. I was just going to take your picture. If that's okay. You make me so happy. So I'm going to read from my book, The Daughter Industry. And I'm here, because I have to sell the book. And my friend, the poet Helene Achanzar, says when she's deciding if she's going to buy a book, she reads the last poem, and that's the deciding factor. And so I'm going to give you the last poem and hope it works. The title is Dead Man's Pose. The book also takes you through a common yoga sequence. So it starts in Surya Namaskar and ends in Dead Man's Pose, also known as Corpse Pose, also known as... Did anyone do it today? Savasana, did you do it? Okay. Well, when you do it, one of my favorite things about Dead Man's Pose is part of what you're doing is thanking every part of your body as you're breathing. From your toes to the top of your head. Dead Man's Pose. Child's born and mother cries in hospital for days. Less for what child is not, more for all this world's got in store for her. Names her daughter a boy's name. Babe lifts lids to expose irises. So blue the white nurse screams, "This is God's baby, the devil's or a ghost." In the Gulf of Mexico, shrimps, maters got exposed to oil in a spill years ago, so a swarm of grand spawns grow now with no eyes. Thank you. Did you sew it? Page 21. There's so much happening here. I just have to show you. So, I don't know how to say some of these names, but yeah. So, let's see. What should I tell you here? This book is also populated by the ghosts of femicide. And so, but these ghosts they're just really unruly. They refuse to be ruined. They're dancing, they're doing yoga, they're celebrating. And there are a series of roll call poems. I'll read you one of them. And so what happens is they're in 3 parts. And the first column is a list of Sanskrit names. The second one is a rough translation into English. And the third is more poetry. After an M dash. From the missing. Swara, music, hipster t-shirts. Sya, can exist, a beam of light. Sattvi, existence, bad posture from gender bending. Sveda, born from sweat, hot all the time. Satya, truth, would have been an engineer. Shalya Chikisaka, surgeon. Savritri, mother, MILF. Shaili, tradition, visa, passport, green cards. Swara, celestial, gold, bullion, factories, Bitcoin. Sivani, suture, birth, right citizen. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Okay. The book has a really long subtitle. It's The Daughter Industry, a hauntological confession, alternative history, speculative autopoetics in 3 acts with 7 players. And these 7 players, they show up and they all have names that start with an S because my name starts with an S. Yeah. And I just want to tell you a little bit about some of them. I'm going to read their poems. One's called Sara, S-A-R-A. Her name also means princess. Darkly transcendent and tall, hooded and likely a heavenly Pisces. Understand, again, every day is all of their birthdays, and we will celebrate. Abstract and airy, with deeply studied skills, rooted knowledges, Sara is luminous, has a tiara, of course, and fairy lights sewn into the fabrics of her clothes. Her hand is promised to a prince who is also her friend. That's Sara. Her name, thank you. And her name also means princess, like I said. And the name of this poem is Princess in a Sequin Dress, Pirouettes. Princess in a Sequin Dress, Pirouettes. If given a chance to pick another time and place to live in, I still pick this. Only since we have not yet imagined new tradition conceiving modes. Our critical force can hold over to novel meanings in the sound of heart, a heart that beats both into its very own stumble and into its very own stop. Trace any labor in sweat, equity, over time, on the floor, over time, pocket, change, PTO. I don't mind working so hard if it means our kids won't have to, though they'll have to fight for water as the current climate collapse continues sinking our turtle earth ship. We are in a genocide and we live in genocide. We live during a genocide and with this gendercide. We live when Christmas is canceled in Bethlehem, then famine and polio, no feasts for after the fasts. Children wail on laptops live stream while I weep dead sea salts dissolve in bathtub water with me. I weep and I will sing and dance. I will spin and sparkle with you even when there's no need to. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chicago Poetry Center. Thank you, Barney and Helene and everyone here. This is such a beautiful series. Blue Hour. I was going to read you a few more poems. These are from Sasmita. No, they're not. They're from Sajani. Her name also means beloved. I'll tell you a little bit more about Sajani. Sajani, beloved. Venerated femme mother who is very bold, partly because she would have read all Toni Morrison's contributions to the world, partly because of her own mother's strength, and partly due to a Scorpio sun sign she would have been born under. Sajani wears purple-colored clothes and makeup. She has a deep voice. Her hallux is shorter than her second toe. At her matrimonial Varmala exchange, she'd garland the bridegroom first as she'd quickly bow his head to her. So the title of this poem is Beloved Writes a Letter. You are no singular existence here. The year 1982. We watch E.T. in a movie theater, and even though the theater is full of people, you are the only one in the room with me. In a memory of this moment, I hear children snore over playhouse loudspeakers. We smell less the smell of butter, flavor, and our shiny candies, and more the lingering smell of smoking is allowed from decades ago. After several years, what seems possible is this: you alive with me. Sitting in darkness, our sticky floor pushes up against layers of rubber and canvas on our shoes, and then on my jeaned knees, and then on the palms of your hands that you will later lick for the salt taste. In the movie, there is a boy on a bicycle. The eponymous extraterrestrial character sits wrapped in a blanket in a basket mounted on handlebars. They fly on the bike in front of the moon. When I ask you what you remember, you say we were eating the same candy the boy used to lure the alien. You picked some up off the ground and put the pieces in your mouth. E.T. needs help from Elliot to go home, to be lifted into the sky, to disappear. You, too, blur into space. Amniocentesis was introduced around 1974, so now in the science of living bodies, regarding birthing, blood flow in the umbilical cord and placenta can be observed with real-time sonography. And we know now a camera can sound a heartbeat, show a throb. We see shimmer against hospital white and that glassed monitor. In cystic spaces, a pattern, pulsatile, whirling and accelerated flow, visible even to suggest a death. When I ask you if it is conceivable to graph a function of space in which intuition could take the place of the screen, you say yes. There is a frequency that keeps the body alive. You keep that metal whistle you won at the fair around your neck. I have never heard you blow into it, but sometimes the wind is enough to make it make a sound. Because to know you would be to know how to answer a question I do not know how to ask. What I am wishing is an open sky for you. And there is one with new planets forming a brilliant and almost blinding blue light. Seals envelope with spit. Years later, we hear once upon a time once more when Mother tells us, the wind, it did not stop for the whole month of June, after which the wind switched, then drought, and then the meowing calls from peafowls, Indian, green, and white. We were not afraid. We could taste the river water lifted into the air, and still the rain did not stop. We were not afraid because some bridges we could swim under. During certain evenings, we could feel like riverbeds, almost floating river bank crops, harvest, and meats have a certain use for soup, for surenesses, selections so natural, churn milk, stocks to butter, the fields become kitchen. Eat, eat, then sleep, good night. We all write a survival story down somewhere. Thank you so much.
I'm entirely filled with delight. That's not true. I have so many feelings. But foremost among them is delight. Can we applaud again for everyone in the open mic? For Patrycja, for Soham. All right, closing announcements, reminders. June 4th. Does anybody remember? Noel Quinones book launch party. Good job. June 9th is Blatant Gold, the summer poetry party. Come out for that for sure. Okay, a couple of quick things. There will be books for sale in the back, right over there. I always tell our poets this is a big book buying audience. I have not yet been made a liar. Let's not start now. Get back there, buy a book before they sell out. Make sure to put your name on the CPC mailing list if you're not already on it. Enormous thanks to the Chicago Poetry Center staff and our incredible interpreter, Gabby. Of all the things to interpret, I feel like poetry has to be, I don't know, the very best, and also the hardest and most annoying. Yeah. Yay! That's what I thought. Okay, a couple other things. There is merch for sale in the back. The last poem that Soham read is actually on a Chicago Poetry Center broadside, which we don't have them down here, but if you buy anything, you can get one for free, and we will run upstairs and grab one for you. It will just take us a minute. So it's on a gorgeous, gorgeous broadside. Wine, beer, water in the back, hang out, introverts unite, make a poetry friend. We will see you in June. And then also in September. Yay, pick up a flyer and see these incredible poets who are coming up. Be safe, be good. We'll see you soon.